Join me as I dive into the mysteries of the Ethiopian Bible and see if I can uncover the secrets of the Book of Enoch, of the children of the people who were dead, and their voices were reaching unto heaven until this very moment. I asked Raphael, the angel who was with me, and said to him, "This spirit, the voice of which is reaching into heaven, swim like this and is making suit, whose spirit is it?" And he answered me, saying, "This is the spirit which had left Abel, whom Cain his brother had killed. It continues to sue him until all of Cain's seed is exterminated from the face of the earth, and his seed has disintegrated from among the seed of the people." At that moment, I raised a question regarding him and regarding the judgment of all. For what reason is one separated from the other? And he replied and said to me, "These three have been made in order that the spirits of the dead might be separated. And in the manner in which the souls of the righteous are separated by this spring of water with light upon it, in like manner the sinners are set apart, when they die and are buried in the earth, and judgment has not been executed upon them in their lifetime, upon this great pain, until the great day of judgment. And to those who curse there will be plague and pain forever, and the retribution of their spirits. They will bind them there forever, even if from the beginning of the world. And in this manner is a separation made for the souls of those who make the suit and those who disclose concerning destruction, as they were killed in the days of the sinners. Such has been made for the souls of the people who are not righteous, but sinners and perfect criminals. They shall be together with other criminals who are like them, whose souls will not be killed on the day of judgment, but will not rise from there." At that moment I blessed the Lord of glory, and I said, "Blessed be my Lord, the Lord of righteousness, who rules forever." And from there I departed and went to another place in the direction of the west, until the extreme ends of the earth. And I saw a burning fire which was running without rest, and it did not diminish its speed night and day. And I asked, saying, "What is this thing which has no rest?" At that moment Raguel, one of the holy angels who was with me, answered me and said to me, "This thing which you saw is the course of the fire, and this, the fire which is burning in the direction of the west, is the luminaries of heaven." From there I went to another place of the earth, and he showed me a mountain of fire, which was flaming day and night. And I went in its direction and saw 7 dignified mountains, all different one from the other, of precious and beautiful stones, and all dignified and glorious in respect to their visualization, and beautiful in respect to their facade. 3 in the direction of the east, 1 founded on the other, and 3 in the direction of the north, one upon the other, with deep and crooked ravines, each one of which is removed from the other. The 7 mountains were ravines, each one of which is removed from the other. The 7 mountains were situated in the midst of these ravines, and in respect to their heights, all resembled the seat of a throne, which is surrounded by fragrant trees. And among them there was one tree such as I have never at all smelled. There was not a single one among those or other trees which is like it. Among all the fragrances, nothing could be so fragrant. Its leaves, its flowers, and its wood would never wither forever. Its fruit is beautiful and resembles the clustered fruits of a palm tree. At that moment I said, "This is a beautiful tree, beautiful to view, with leaves so handsome and blossoms so magnificent in appearance." Then Michael, one of the holy and revered angels, he is their chief, who was with me, responded to me, and he said unto me, "Enoch, what is it that you are asking me concerning the fragrance of this tree, and you are so inquisitive about?" At that moment I answered, saying, "I am desirous of knowing everything, but specially about this thing." He answered, saying, "This tall mountain which you saw, whose summit resembles the throne of God, is indeed his throne, on which the holy and great Lord of glory, the eternal King, will sit when he descends to visit the earth with thee to touch it until the great judgment, when he shall take vengeance on all and conclude everything forever. This is for the righteous and the pious, and the elect will be presented with its fruit for life. He will plant it in the direction of the northeast, upon the holy place, in the direction of the house of the Lord, the eternal King. Then they shall be glad and rejoice in gladness, and they shall enter into the holy place. Its fragrance shall penetrate their bones. Long life will they live on earth, such as your fathers lived in their days. At that moment I blessed the God of glory, the eternal King, for he has prepared such things for the righteous people as he had created them and given it to them. And from there I went into the center of the earth and saw a blessed place, shaded with branches which live and bloom from a tree that was cut. And there I saw a holy mountain. Underneath the mountain, in the direction of the east, there was a stream which was flowing in the direction of the north. And I saw in a second direction another mountain, which was higher than the former. Between them was a deep and narrow valley. In the direction of the latter mountain ran a stream. In the direction of the west from this one there was yet another mountain, smaller than it and not so high, with a valley under it, and between them besides another valley which is deep and Dramaden. The valleys were narrow, formed of hard rocks and no tree growing on them. And I marveled at the mountains, and I marveled at the valleys. I marveled very deeply. At that moment I said, for what purpose does this blessed land, entirely filled with trees, have in its midst this accursed valley? Then Uriel, one of the holy angels who was with me, answered me and said to me, this accursed valley is for those accursed forever. Here will gather together in those accursed ones, those who speak with their mouth unbecoming words against the Lord and utter hard words concerning his glory. Here shall they be gathered together, and here shall be their judgment in the last days. There will be upon them the spectacle of the righteous judgment in the presence of the righteous forever. The merciful will bless the Lord of glory, the eternal King, all the day. In the days of the judgment of the accursed, the merciful shall bless him for the mercy which he had bestowed upon them. At that moment I blessed the Lord of glory and gave him the praise that befits his glory. And from there I went in the direction of the east into the center of the mountain of the desert. And I saw a wilderness, and it was solitary, full of trees and seeds. And there was a stream on top of it, and it gushed forth from above it, appeared like a waterfall which cascaded greatly as if toward the direction of west of the northeast. Water and dew ascended from it all over. Then I went into another place in the desert, and I approached the easterly direction of this mountain. And there I saw the tree of judgment, which has the smell of rubbish. Its tree looked like that of frankincense and myrrh. And beyond it, beyond those above the easterly mountains, it is not far. And I saw a place which is a valley of water that is endless. And I saw a beautiful tree which resembles a tree whose fragrance is like that of mastic. And in the direction of the sides of those valleys, I saw a fragrant cinnamon tree. And over these I proceeded in the easterly direction. And I saw other mountains with trees in them. There flowed from them, the trees, something like nectar, called Sarara and Galbanum. And over these mountains I saw yet another mountain, and in it there were aloe trees, and the whole forest was full of trees, like sturdy almond trees. And when one picks the fruit, it gives the most pleasant odor. And after experiencing this fragrant odor, while looking toward the northeast over the mountains, I saw 7 mountains full of excellent nard, fragrant trees, cinnamon trees, and pepper. From there I went over the summits of the mountains, far toward the east of the earth, then passed over the Erythraean Sea, and went far from it, and passed over the head of angel Zutuel. And I came to the garden of righteousness, and saw beyond those trees many other, large ones growing there, their fragrance sweet, large ones, with much elegance and glorious. And the tree of wisdom, of which one eats and knows great wisdom, was among them. It looked like the colors of the carob tree, its fruit like very beautiful grape clusters, and the fragrance of this tree travels and reaches afar. And I said, this tree is beautiful, and its appearance beautiful and pleasant. Then the holy angel Raphael, who was with me, responded to me and said, this very thing is the tree of wisdom, from which your old father and aged mother, they who are your precursors, ate and came to know wisdom, and consequently, their eyes were open, and they realized that they were naked, and so they were expelled from the garden. As we continue to unravel the mysteries of the Book of Enoch, we're left with a profound sense of awe and reverence for the ancient scribes who penned this sacred text. We're reminded that our understanding of Scripture is always incomplete, and that there are hidden treasures waiting to be uncovered in the forgotten corners of the biblical canon.